Thank you. I know it's been a while. What's up? It's your girl, Thick Track Hippie with Healthy Hood Network. And it has been a while. I've been just dealing with life as we all have been, just, surviving. Now, I want to talk about surviving just because this is what we learn to do from the day we're born. We survive if we're just coming out of the womb. You learn to latch on to your mom's breast because, you need substance, you need comfort, you need to eat. And it just goes on through a childhood. We do not get to choose what family we are born to, our mishaps, our privileges, our advantages, our disadvantages. We just learn how to survive within what we are given and what we are, around. Now, growing up in the hood, we all have come across many different things that have peaked in our instincts and turned them on and, had light bulbs glowing over our head trying to figure things out. And that's a form of survival. As young women, we learn different, means of survival. You can be a beautiful girl and your beauty is what gets you through high school. You learn that, hey, everybody is going to try to get my attention and they want to be around me. So this is you're on the forefront. People look at you and they see, hey, I want to be her friend. Or, if you're an athlete and you're a jock and you're a sports head, you survive through high school or whatever it is by playing your sport. Whatever your craft is, if you're an artist, to get through stressful moments, you kind of use that as an outlet. And our outlets are forms of survival mentally, physically, and even financially. Some of our outlets become a source of income. Now, we all go through different phases of life, and then unfortunately the whole world is going through a form of survival right now with a pandemic. We have medical issues, financial issues, mental issues, legal issues. There's so much going on, and we just have to find some sort of balance. Now, as a Black woman who's a mother, a sister, an auntie, a daughter, a cousin, a girlfriend, an ex-wife, I play many roles, and I have to survive for myself first before I can take care of anyone else. Now, we do these forms of survival without even knowing. When you're down to the last in your refrigerator, you're putting things together to make a meal. When you have to, have some clean clothes and your washer broke or you have no access to that washer, you get to that sink and soap and water and hand wash that stuff and throw it over a rack or a chair or something, let that air dry. When you have to get to work and you have no car, you find a ride, you walk, you catch a bus, you Uber, you Lyft, whatever it is, but in a means of survival, you get there because this is your bread and butter. We're not taught how to survive. Some of us aren't good at surviving, and those are the ones who fold under pressure. They make it to certain points, and then they crumble. People fall in defeat. But throughout all these different phases and situations, we do learn an instinct of survival, whether we want to or not. We're forced to if we want to live. We have to make certain decisions throughout life as a child, a teenager, an adult, whatever situation. It's a means of what can I do to make sure that I'm okay or my family is okay. Right now, the different levels of survival have peaked. People have been cooped up in their houses. They've been quarantining. Some have been quarantining with abusers. Some have been quarantining with nothing. Some things, we just can't have due to COVID-19 and this pandemic. We are going without certain situations. There are people that are losing their homes and jobs. Our children are losing socializing and certain levels of education, because let's be honest, all parents aren't teachers. Parents are losing their patience. And some is gaining, some are thriving in this. Some are, excited to be able to be on hands, or should I say hands on, with their children and their learning experiences. I fall into the middle of both, because I am deemed an essential worker. I do work in a health food store, and, my children are in school. And I've had to come up with routines and schedules and just different options. I've had several meetings ongoing, worried all summer about what this year looked like. And coming into the year, my kids start school next week. We have some sort of a plan according to the emails I've been getting. We have some Zoom calls. They've decided on majority virtual learning, which is not an option for me as a parent. I just think that adults are acting out just because they're asked to wear face coverings. And again, this is responsibility. This is survival. We're not saying, oh, you don't do this, you die, but it's protection. It's protective wear. It's like, hey, you might not die if you jump out of a plane without a parachute, but it's possible that you could get really hurt. So why not just use a parachute? If it's going to be cold outside and you're going to be walking, don't you think you should wear a coat? It's just certain things that we need to do to protect ourselves. And there are adults that are acting way worse than a 2-year-old tantrum. A 2-year-old having a tantrum, should I say, when being asked to wear a face covering or a mask. And this is just to protect those around you and the workers in the environment that you're visiting. Whichever it is, just do it to protect the environment and yourself. You don't know what other people have come in contact with. And I know we have conspiracy theorists and all kind of other people that, look at the bigger picture and find some major issues with it. Whether it be a conspiracy or not, these are issues that are going on. And survival is key. To continue to live or exist, regardless of what accident you have, how difficult the circumstances are, whatever the ordeal is, you have to survive. In order to continue your existence, you're going to have to know how to survive. So we have to learn these different tips. Survival all the way around is a skill. I talk about health all day. I'm a mother. I make sacrifices all the time. And there are skills and techniques that a person may use in order to sustain their life in any type of natural environment or a built environment, for that matter, And these techniques are meant to provide basic necessities for any human to sustain their life. And that includes the water, shelter, food, just clothing, fire, money, although money isn't a key factor, the fact of bartering a service or having something to trade is, and that is a fact. So, in order to survive, we have to find a way of balance. Now there are different levels of survival. You need to know how to defend yourself. And in that stance, there are some people who really are good at. Those people who are good at weapons training with guns or knives and archery and things like that, that's their niche in survival. But survival has many levels. Surviving as a mother, as a single mother, surviving as a teen mother, surviving as a child from, bad home with domestic going on. All of that is survival. Surviving on the streets, surviving health-wise, surviving different health crises, health ailments, health issues. All of these are levels of survival. So me personally, I think that if you have a niche, especially in the natural world, speaking of natural alternatives, just what goes on without interference, what's going on in nature, cooking, protection, self-defense, mechanics, technology, all of this can be a form of survival, especially now. So I think that everyone can find their angle in survival and make it some sort of a fact and make some sort of a point. Me personally, my angle in survival would be natural alternatives, understanding your ingredients and how to nourish your body naturally, how to understand and implement vitamins, how to find alternatives, understanding your ailments and your limitations, and how to find the balance in that and what's going on. This is important, especially for the urban communities, with minority communities, supposedly minority like the Black African Americans, Asians, Hispanics, just a lot of us don't have access to certain things. And so our ancestors found a way to survive. When they couldn't get to the doctor, they went to a holistic healer, and they used herbs, and they survived through that. That was how they dealt with a lot of ailments and injuries and issues when it came to their health and stuff like that. If you're out and someone is attacking you, or you're under a defense mode and you're under pressure, you have to know how to survive. You're going to have to pick up some type of weapon and defend yourself and defend your family. That is a means of survival. So there's different levels of survival. There are women that are in domestic situations, and in order to get through some things, they smile through the pain. They put cover up on the bruises. They take that punch, and then they take that apology. That is a means of survival. It's not a good means, but it is something that they've been taught, and it can go on through, something that they've seen their parents do. So this can happen for generations. It's a cycle that repeats, especially with women. I wouldn't even say especially with women, because women are usually the receivers and the men are usually the doers, but it can go vice versa. There are some abusive women towards men. So I wouldn't let that slide based on gender. There's all types of abuse: financial, emotional, physical, mental, and I probably can go on, but we just have to learn balance and warnings and the means of survival within those boundaries. No matter what you're going through, you can survive if you think out a plan. A lot of times we ignore the warnings and the signs. We ignore our options. We think it'll be okay, and we deal with hope. In this day and age, with me personally, hope is a very thin and light feather-like word. I know that we have a lot of time we hold on to that, but I'm about making things happen. I push to make things happen, and I hope that you do the same. I do research, I study, I am a hustler from the hood. And when you're from the hood, you just got to make stuff work, and that's just the way it is. But the point is that we all need to survive in this day and age. It's gone on from the beginning of time, and that's just what we have to learn how to do what's best for our family and ourselves. Find your path of survival and which way you would like to grow in it and explore in it, but do what's best for you and your family. At this day and age, like I said, as far as the pandemic and quarantining and COVID and, Black Lives Matter and, police brutality and just unfairness and inequality for our culture, we have to become more aware of our opportunities within our own culture, within ourselves. We have to become more self-sufficient, and that's returning to our roots. So do some research within yourself and find a way how you can grow in your survival skills. It's your girl, Thick Trap Hippie with Healthy Hood Network. Make sure you like, comment, and share. Check out my YouTube at Healthy Hood Network, and make sure that you take your vitamins. Eat healthy and do everything you need to learn how to survive naturally. It's the Health Trap.